What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Okay, let me ask you a serious question. When you close your eyes and picture Superman, what do you see? You see the blue suit, the red cape, the symbol of hope, right? The big blue Boy Scout? Now, look at this cover. This is not that guy. This is something else entirely. This is Kal-El pushed to the absolute brink, burning with a raw, terrifying, and unstable red energy, wearing a suit that looks like it's barely containing a nuclear meltdown. And looming behind him is a version of Ra's al Ghul that looks less like a man and more like a primal god of destruction. What in the world could push Superman to this point? Is this new power a blessing, or is it a curse that's literally going to tear him apart from the inside out? And how did Ra's get strong enough to make Superman look like the underdog? Alright, so diving right in, Jason Aaron and Rafa Sandoval do not waste a single second. Instead of opening with some big cosmic punch-up, they hit us right in the heart. The story immediately cuts to the Smallville senior living facility, inside the memory care unit. And guys, this scene is genuinely chilling. We see Martha Kent, frail and confused, looking out a window. She's panicked, telling a nurse she has to get things ready for him. And then she sees something outside, what she calls a red storm. And for a brief, beautiful moment, her mind is clear. She thinks it's a sign that her son, her angel, is back. But just as quickly, the dementia pulls her back under, and she forgets what she was even talking about. And that red storm Martha saw? Oh yeah, that was Clark. The comic cuts to him in the middle of a vast prairie, literally being torn apart by a vortex of that same red energy. We get this incredible narration where he reveals that Brainiac has carved a way deep inside his mind, trying to corrupt him and make him see his own family as instruments of destruction. He's in a fierce internal battle, and he's losing. The only thing keeping him together is the intervention of Sol, this super advanced AI his Kryptonian mother created, whose entire purpose is to manage the sun. Seeing its greatest asset, the solar-powered Kryptonian, about to go critical, Sol basically performs a system reboot, forcing Kal-El to relax his mind and remember who he is. It's an insane opening that perfectly sets the stakes. The physical threat is huge, but the real war is happening inside Superman's head, and it's a war for his very soul. Now, this is where Jason Aaron's writing just shines, because instead of moving forward, he takes us back 5 years to explain how we got here, and it is absolutely brilliant character work. We flash back to Kal-El in a self-imposed exile at the Mayan volcano. He's a recluse, haunted and broken after some unnamed tragedy. He's just sitting there, stewing in his own grief, and the only company he has is the nagging, persistent voice of the AI, Sol. This section is amazing because it defines their relationship perfectly. Sol isn't just a helper. It's like a hyper-logical, slightly exasperated parent trying to get its moody, superpowered son to get out of his room and take a shower. Sol lectures him, reminding him he wasn't made to be alone and that he needs human connection. It's a fantastic dynamic, and it ends with Sol basically telling him he stinks and needs to bathe, leading to this hilarious but also kind of sad panel of Kal-El reluctantly jumping into lava to clean himself while complaining the whole time. It shows us a vulnerable, deeply depressed Clark we rarely get to see. From there, Sol guides him on a journey to find his purpose, and this is where everything goes so horribly wrong. Sol advises him to live a simple life, to work with his hands under the sun, just like his parents did. So, Kal-El travels to the Philippines and tries to blend in with local farmers. He's trying so hard to be normal, to connect. But when he simply tries to shake a man's hand, his unstable power erupts and burns the man's hand, terrifying everyone. Sol explains the terrifying paradox of his existence. The longer he stays in the sun, the very thing that gives him life, the more unstable and dangerous his powers become. And before he can even process this, the situation escalates. An armed military force called the Peacemakers shows up. When they start getting rough with the civilians, Kal-El steps in to defend them, and in a flash of uncontrolled power, he unintentionally snaps a soldier's arm. The look of horror on his face, juxtaposed with the terror in everyone else's, is just gut-wrenching. In that one moment, his attempt to be a man of the people turned him into a monster in their eyes. The scene ends with an entire squad aiming their guns at him, and you finally understand the depth of his trauma and why he's so afraid of his own strength. It all builds to this incredible emotional and visual climax. After the disaster in the Philippines, Kal-El flees to a remote, snowy mountaintop, just crushed by guilt. He's tormented by what he's done, and it's made worse when he learns the soldiers are being treated with Lazarus technology, the same tech that connects to his trauma over his father's death. This is his breaking point. Inside his mind, Sol tries to manipulate him one last time, projecting images of his Kryptonian parents, Jor-El and Lara, who spew this cold, logical nonsense about humanity being inferior. But Kal-El has had enough. In a powerful moment of self-actualization, he screams at the AI, rejecting its influence, rejecting the ghosts of his past, and choosing to face his suffering alone. And that decision, that raw emotional energy, triggers a massive explosion that creates a sharp, aggressive, giant red crystal fortress. This isn't the beautiful, crystalline Fortress of Solitude we know. This is a fortress built from pain and isolation. And Rafa Sandoval's art here is just breathtaking. The sheer scale and power of this moment is a full-page spread that you will stare at for minutes. While all of this is happening, we get this wonderful parallel story with Lois and Jimmy. They arrive in Smallville, broke and on the run, and walk into a diner expecting the worst. But in a truly heartwarming twist, the entire town reveals they are supporters of Superman. They know what he's done for them over the years, and they know Lois and Jimmy are trying to help him. The waitress introduces herself as Lana Lang, offering them food, shelter, and an alliance. It's this beautiful moment of hope that proves Clark's faith in humanity was right all along. This all culminates back at the Kent farm. Kal-El returns, finally at peace. He reconciles with Sol, calling the AI his brother and family. He reunites with Lois and Jimmy. And in a pivotal moment, he rejects the name Superman and reclaims his identity, stating, "My name is Kal-El, Kal-El of Krypton." He has finally accepted all parts of himself. But the peace is short-lived. He reveals the horrifying truth. Sol gathered them all there because Ra's al Ghul is coming for him, and the final battle will happen right there on the Kent farm. And that leads us to the final, terrifying pages. We cut to Ra's al Ghul in a helicopter, laying out his entire twisted plan. His goal isn't to kill Superman, it's to corrupt him. He plans to terrorize Smallville, to burn it to the ground, to hurt everyone Kal-El loves, all to provoke him into such a rage that he is forced to kill Ra's. In his sick, twisted mind, this act of murder will be a redemption that unleashes Superman's true godlike potential. It's one of the most diabolical villain plans I've read in a long time. And the final page is a jaw-dropping splash page of Ra's massive army. Lazarus tanks, giant mechs, helicopters, all descending on Smallville. The comic ends with the words, "Next, Smallville under siege." Holy cow, what an ending! So, what's the final verdict on Absolute Superman number 12? Seriously, this is peak comic book storytelling. The writing by Jason Aaron is phenomenal. He takes this larger-than-life character and grounds him in such real, raw, and relatable trauma and emotion. And the art by Rafa Sandoval is just out of this world. Every single page is a masterpiece, from the quiet, emotional close-ups to the explosive full-page splashes of raw power. This is an absolute must-read for any Superman fan, or really any comic fan in general. My rating for this issue, a rock-solid, no questions asked 9.5 out of 10.